guys, good morning and welcome to Monday morning in the Sugar and Crumbs Kitchen. I've got Terry with me.
Hello everybody.
So you've got the next terrible two with you. And today's going to be a mammoth baking day. I'm going to do the basic Victoria sponge recipe, but I'm going to do it in a 12-inch square, a 10-inch circle, an 8-inch and a 6-inch. It'll be the same recipe, just to show you what the quantities are. We'll get them on the website as well, and then every time you need to bake a sponge and you want the Victoria sponge recipe, you can go to the website and it'll be there for you. Have we got any hellos there, Terry?
We have plenty of hellos this morning. We've got our first one, Helen Williams, and then everyone else is piling through, saying good morning, Karen. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So if you are a newbie on here, please let us know. Let us know where you come from and say hello. And everyone is so helpful and jolly on here. Just to let you know, anybody who is watching and is new, everything that is baked in this kitchen is not going to the public for consumption. It's usually consumed between the kitchen staff and the warehouse lads. So if you see me touch my hair suddenly, or I wipe my hand, I mean I don't usually wipe my hands on anything, but if you just see me do anything like that, don't worry, because it is not for sale, anything in this kitchen. It's just to show you how we bake and how to bake and what we use. Right then, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you, before we get on with, I tell you what, move this out of the way, let's just get on with baking, because it takes an hour to bake. I want to bake the biggest one, which is the 12-inch square one, so that hopefully by the end of the live at least you'll see one cake come out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the margarine and the icing sugar in the mixer to start mixing and get that nice light and fluffy, and I find this is the key. I get my sponges to rise, and everyone says how much the sponges rise. Carol loves it, the tutors love it. I beat the icing sugar and the margarine together for a good 7 minutes. It's just something I do, that I just get that much air into it, and then I'll add the eggs slowly, and then I just usually put the flour in, but only in a very light mix, and it's 20 seconds of a high mix when it's all combined. You will see me doing this. We're going to do it 4 times, so you will get the gist of it. So the first sponge, I have weighed everything out. I'll be weighing everything out as we go along now. So for a 12-inch square, which is these, I've usually done these ones when you've been on your classes and you're doing your carved cakes. This is the one that this is the tin that I've used. So I'm just going to do 600 grams of margarine. Now I use Stork margarine. You can use Supermarket's Own, or you can use any other margarine that you fancy using. I find it is better with margarine, not butter. Butter is great for butter icing. Margarine is great for cakes.
Oh, I don't know. Brilliant.
So I'll just put that on there. I've not put the icing sugar in yet, but let's give that just a quick beat round. Got my cloths ready. And then we'll add the icing sugar, and then we'll give that a good beat, and we'll get the tin prepared, and we'll get the eggs cracked. And while that's just beating there, I am going to turn the oven up onto 140 degrees C. I bake low and slow, and it's on 140 degrees.
Margaret says, Karen, you never get dirty. The big cloth is magic.
Except when I'm with chocolate. So there we go, the margarine's been whipped around there, so let's add.
Peggy says it's 4:34 a.m. in California.
Oh, Peggy, bless you for getting up. And Wayne, thank you for staying up, because it's you're up with the birds, Peggy, and I think Wayne's waiting to go to bed now. So there we go.
And Vanessa on YouTube asks, why are cakes better with margarine, not butter, Karen?
I think that when they're with butter, they're too rich. They don't tend to rise. Well, mine have never rose. It's something I've always been brought up with, that bake with margarine. Unless I'm doing a shortbread biscuit, yes, and then I'll use butter. If I'm doing like all butter shortbread, I'll use butter. But with cakes, I've always been taught, bake with margarine and then use your butter for doing your butter icing. I think they're more dense and last time I baked with butter in error, they didn't rise like I wanted. They weren't spongy like I wanted it to be. I've just chopped that icing sugar in there. So that's 600 grams of margarine in here and 600 grams, and I've used velvet vanilla flavoured icing sugar.
Oh, you answered them questions. And also, which margarine do you recommend? Julie uses stork, but recently the recipe seems so changed.
A few people have said now, though I've still got stork here, but someone has advised me to try like the supermarket's own brand. So I think when my stock runs out in the kitchen here, I might just buy a tub of, like, I shop a lot at Morrison's or Tesco. I might just get a block of a tub of the Morrison's margarine and see how we go with that one. And if it's not as good as what I think, then I'll go back to stork. It's stork. I have just used stork now. Must be 40 years, 50 years I've used stork margarine for.
And what mixer are you using today, Karen?
I've got the Kenwood Chef out today, the Kenwood Chef Titanium, because it's a bit quieter than the other mixers for you. And because I'm using the same recipe, I can just use the same bowl, so it doesn't really matter. If I was doing different recipes, I'd have one of the KitchenAids out, because I'd have plenty of bowls. So I'm just going to turn it on now. I'm just going to give that a nice good whip together while I prepare our tin. So the greaseproof paper. See, I'm not bothered about going up the sides of the tin. I don't line the sides. I just usually line the bottom.
Go over the quantities for the 12 inch one more time, please.
I will. It's 600 grams of margarine and 600 grams of natural flavoured icing sugar, velvet vanilla. That's in the bowl at the moment. They're the only two things I've told you up to now. I've got my PME releaser cake. I love this. Got a new one. You can tell I got a new one from the warehouse today. PME releaser. I love this because when I put it on the side of the tin, the cake just comes out. It's absolutely great. Cake Star also do one called Cake Release. So just put a bit in. Bit of kitchen roll. Wipe it around. I just make sure I get all the sides. I thought I'd give you all a treat for a Monday.
Nice quiet Monday cake.
So there we go. That's my tin. I've made sure all the sides are completely covered in the releaser cake. And I'm just going to put... Again, I don't mind if it's gone up this side a little bit like that. That doesn't bother me. I've just got it nice in line now. The oven's on 140 degrees, so that's preheating nicely. So that's our tin all prepared. As you can see, if Terry goes back to the mixer, how nice, light and fluffy this is all going now with the icing sugar and the margarine being beaten together. And I really do find that this is probably one of the key things. I learned it off a television programme quite a few years ago, and he said he beats the sugar and the margarine together for quite a while to make it light and fluffy so it nearly doubles in size. And it was a tip I took on board, and I've followed that tip ever since.
How big is the tin?
I think that one is a 3-inch one. You've just got your tape measure just behind your cup there. Yeah. But I am mostly using the ones today, like the 10-inch one, the 8-inch one and the 6-inch one are all the 3-inch deep ones. So I have my 12 eggs, so 12 eggs. And we're going to tip them out. I wanted a bowl to put the shells in. She says that she's losing eggs everywhere. There we go. Again, you all know the magic trick. If a piece of shell falls in, just use the other shell to get it out.
that the quantity for the size of the tin?
I'll look it up.
Oh, look it up. And why do you prefer icing sugar as opposed to caster sugar?
Because of our gorgeous flavour. It gives the cake a beautiful vanilla taste. I mean, it's great. I've used the velvet vanilla, I've used salted carrot, I use all ours. If you want a nice flavoured sponge, then use our delicious flavoured icing sugars. It really is a game changer in your sponge. And it also, to me, it makes your sponges more light and fluffy. So I'm using velvet vanilla today because we decorate so many cakes that we decorate them with our new flavours. I don't want to have too many flavours going on. So because these cakes that I baked today will be frozen, I've done them all in velvet. I'm doing them all in velvet vanilla. So when we come to decorate or to bake something, we can choose the flavour of the buttercream or the Swiss brand buttercream, and it'll complement it being velvet vanilla. So as you can see with that now, that is absolutely light and fluffy. It's pale in colour and it is just really light. So I'm just going to go down to the bottom to make sure there's none down there. There's no deeper yellow down there. So I'm just going and I'm going to slowly start adding the eggs.
How many eggs are that, Karen?
It's 12 eggs. Now, don't worry if you think your mixture's going a little bit curdled. After every egg, just put a little spoonful of flour in with it, and just make sure you will beat your eggs. So I'm putting 2 eggs at a time in, and I'll put a little bit of flour in there. I'll wait for it to mix round, and I want to thoroughly mix these eggs into the mixture.
Like ice cream.
So just always make sure that each egg, like the eggs that I put in, are thoroughly mixed into the mix. And then I'll turn it down again. We'll add another couple of eggs, a bit more flour. Wait for that to mix. So your flour is also 600 grams. So you see I've used the same amount of everything. It's 600 grams of margarine, 600 grams of icing sugar, 600 grams of self-raising flour, 12 eggs. It's 1 egg usually to every 50 grams of mixture. Some people like to weigh their eggs. I don't. But there is some people who do weigh their eggs, and if that's how you always do it, then you carry on. Some people love the way they make their sponges. If you like the way you make your sponge and it works, don't change. Keep the way that works. It's just we've had such a lot of people asking for sponge cake recipes when they see Carol doing the cakes on the live, that we keep repeating it, and we thought rather than keep repeating, I'll show you how to do them, and we'll get those, it'll be under basic sponge cake on the recipe, and every size will be down there. I'm going to go from a 6, an 8, a 10 and a 12, what I'm doing today, so they'll be on there. And then obviously if there's done a size that you wanted, then you'll just have to adapt it. You can find conversion charts on the internet, they will help you. These are the sizes that I nearly always bake in the kitchen. So we don't have like the 9-inch and 7-inch tins in here. I very rarely bake. I've never made a 12-inch round cake, so that's why I'm showing you how to do the 12-inch square cake, because that's the one that I've made the most.
And what size eggs? Large?
I've just got large eggs, but I just say 12 eggs. So it's up to you. If you want to weigh your eggs, you can weigh your eggs. If you don't, you can just use 12 eggs. Usually, I never have small eggs. It's usually large or the medium eggs I've got.
Thanks for all the likes and shares, ladies. And gentlemen.
Yes, and gentlemen. So they've got 3 eggs in there then. So I want to get this in the oven, just so that this is the one cake that you'll see before the end of the live. You'll be able to see this one come out of the oven. We're also going to talk about cooling the cakes down, how to store the cakes, how I freeze them, what I wrap them in. We're going to try and cover everything we can to do today to do with the sponge cake. I've also got a 6-inch one, which I'll show you in a moment, that I made over the weekend, that we're going to decorate up with some gorgeous flavoured cream. Once you've had double cream flavoured with our natural flavoured icing sugars, you don't go back to plain cream. No. It's just not done. So I'm keeping these bowls here because these are what I'm going to use to measure out for my next cake. We're going to start adding the flour now, slowly, while it's on.
Do you have the whisk or the beater attachment on the mixer?
I've got the beater attachment. I don't ever whisk a cake, it would put far too much air into it, so I always use the beater attachment. And once that flour's just incorporated a little bit, I'll add a bit more, but I'm not, as you can see, I'm not turning the mixer up to a high speed. I'm just letting it slowly. I mean, some people, you might want to fold in your flour, which I keep remembering, this is a 600 gram mixer. The mixer is actually, the mixer's quite full. So what I will do is I am going to fold in the flour, then put it on the mixer for the final beat. Only because I've got such a lot of mix in here. I think 600 is the most I could go to in this mixer.
Who asks, will the amount of ingredients make 2 layers?
No, this makes 1 layer. This makes 1 cake. If you want to split that into 2, you can do. If you was doing it as a sponge, but this just makes 1 of these, and it will make it at like 3 inches high. So if you want to, once it's cooled down, you then can split it into 2 to make your 12-inch cake. So I'm just folding this in, just till the flour's incorporated.
I need to ask, if you overmix the batter, does it make a denser cake?
No, if you overmix the batter, it tends to, I've seen it where you can get like bits of sugar crystals on the top. Just get that on there. I'm going to... That had to do that, didn't it? I'm just going to turn this up, and this is going to be 15 seconds at high speed. There we go.
I could just eat that bit now.
So I'm just going to give that.
What is the size of the Kenwood mixer?
This is, I don't know about this, I think it's a 5-litre bowl, I think, but I know it's a 1500 watt. If Doe's watching, I know Doe got the same mixer for her birthday of her gorgeous husband, so I'm sure this is a 5-litre bowl. So just tip this into your prepared tin. You can get bigger ones, you can get extra large mixers, especially if you're doing it as a business, you can get the ones where you get the bigger bowl in it.
And Maeva asks, can I lick the bowl please? Claire says, average time to wipe down pink board, 10 seconds.
And then with my palette knife, I'm just going to make sure it gets into all the corners, and I'm just making sure it gets nice and level.
It smells so nice.
Right, I'm going to pop that into the oven. Not waste any, there we go. Just wipe off any stray batter, you don't want that burning on the side of your tin. And let's pop this into the oven now, and I'm going to put the timer on for an hour. It's gone in the middle of the oven. Turn the other oven. Right, so that's gone in the oven now for an hour. Have a quick tidy down here. So then I'm going to use this board, I'm going to use this again because we're going to mix up a 10-inch one, an 8-inch and a 6-inch. Is there any questions over the 12-inch?
Do you ever raise it at the side so the middle doesn't rise too much?
No, because doing it low and slow will make it an even bake. If you baked it at, I mean, most ovens would say, oh, bake that at 160, 170. That's when you get your dome in the middle. If you bake low and slow, you don't get the dome in the middle. It bakes nice and it rises up, and it seems to rise at a lovely level rise. That's how we always say to you as well, if you're doing your cupcakes and you don't want the dome, bake them at 140 degrees, bake them low and slow.
And would you do that throughout the entire time?
Yes.
So you leave it on 140?
Yep. Until it's cooked. When it's been in there for an hour, I noticed last time the cake, they say it can take an hour to an hour and 20, an hour and 30, depends on your oven, remember. I did this one and I put it on for an hour and it was done. I think I might have had to do another 5 minutes, but what I like to do is put it on for an hour, check it, I'll just put my fingers in. If it feels firm to touch on the top, you can tell straight away without having to open the door completely. You can tell whether it's baked on the top. If it's firm to the touch, I'll do the test with the cake tester, and if it comes out clean, I'll bring it out. If I still think it's a little bit spongy, like you can tell it's not cooked, and it hasn't started to come away from the sides of the tin slightly, then I will put the timer on for another 5, and I'll do it in 5-minute bursts. Then I'll just keep checking it every 5 minutes.
And Joe says 4.6 bowl on my new Kenwood 1500 watt.
Yeah, and that's what I've got on there. It's on there. And thanks, Doe. I've just seen it. Then it just looked at me. Then it says it's a 4.6 litre bowl. This one. Have you used yours yet, Doe?
Can you use the same mixture for a 12-inch round tin?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if the squares or the rounds bake more. I honestly don't know. I have never done a 12-inch. I've never done a 12-inch round one. If you look it up, I said even on the internet, you can put cake conversions in on the internet, and that brings you up your cake conversions to look at and it'll bring up squares and rounds. So it's something always. It's handy if you look at it and print it out and keep it in your kitchen. You've got your guides there to look at. So as I'm not professional, I just do with what I bake in the kitchen here, and it's just something that I've got used to. Right, well, we'll just dry that down again now, and let's just talk about Wonder Dust for a moment. Wonder Dust is selling really, really well. And Carol and John put another order in for some more to come down, and we've chosen some more colours. Now I can show you one of the colours that they've chosen, because we always like to practice with them here first before we put the order in, and this is the one that I'm going to show you here. Look at this blue. Wow. So this is on the new order when it arrives next time. Isn't that gorgeous? It is just like, it's pretty much like a metallic sky blue. It's absolutely beautiful. So that is one of the new colours.
Got so much love pouring
Yeah.
in.
I mean, that, when I saw it, I came in this morning because Carol had done it over the weekend. I went, oh wow, I love it. And they've put that order in for this one. So that's coming in on the next lot, which should be round about 4 weeks.
They love it.
So keep your eye out for that. Obviously, when it comes in, we will be letting you know because we will be playing with it a lot in the kitchen. The new flavours, the bundles out of stock. You have absolutely depleted our warehouse. It looks like we've been ransacked. Every bundle of the new flavours is sold out now, but you can still buy them as singles. We do have some singles available for you to buy if you want to try the new flavours. But the bundles that were on special offer over the weekend, they've completely sold out, and thank you, and you are going to absolutely love them. So I've just got, I've just got, my hands were wet there, and I've just touched everything with a bronze.
Yeah, they're very excited for the Blue Wonder Dust to come in stock.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So the next tin we're going to do is one that I don't bake very often. In fact, I don't know if I've ever baked a 10-inch one yet. So...
So I'm excited to try.
Excited to try. I'm going to... See, I might have too much mixture here. I'm trying to think. It's a 3-inch deep one.
Joe says, I haven't used it yet, I just stroke it.
You like that, are you? Yes. Right, a 10-inch round. I'm going to go, because I know that my 6-inch is 150 grams. So I know my 6-inch is 150 grams. The 8-inch, I've not got a loose bottom one today on the 8-inch. The 8x3, I usually bake Carol's 8-inch sponges when she's doing cakes. I always bake them as single layers. I don't do them as full sponges. I've always done single layers, and I've always done like 125 grams per layer. So I'm actually going to go with 375 grams in this tin and see how we go with it. So that's 375. On this one, I'm going to look at 400 grams, maybe 500 grams, and see how I go. I'm not too sure about this 10-inch one.
So Viv just said, Karen, I did 400 grams for a 10-inch round.
That's it. I was trying to, I'm going, thanks Viv. I'm like that with my brain, thinking if I go down from that to that to that. So I'm just thinking, because that was a 600 for the square one, I'm reckoning 400 gram mix in this 10-inch one. Thanks Viv so much that my brain was nearly smoking then.
Just winged it, Karen, this morning.
So let's do 400 grams. So I'm just going to, again, 400 grams of margarine. There we go. Put that on the mixer for the moment. We'll just get... See, it doesn't matter that my paddle has got a bit of sponge on there. It does not matter one little bit because I'm using the same flavour. So I'll just put that in there and I'll turn that on just to give that a bit of a mix up. While the way out, 400 grams of velvet vanilla. The icing sugar, so we've got 400 grams here. .400 grams there, and let's have 8 eggs. As I said, it's 1 egg per 50 grams. 8 eggs there.
Babs asked, do you ever use a block of margarine for sponges?
Yes, I have used the stalk block for sponges when I've been doing vegan sponges. I've also used it when everyone else at home. The stalk block is absolutely excellent, and it's great if you're doing vegan sponges. The stalk margarine in the tubs is not vegan, but the stalk block is vegan.
Do you sell the big tubs that you use in regards to sugar?
No, this was one that, apparently you can get tubs like this from Home Bargains or B&M's. It's what Laura always uses. And this was this is a J Nash's food container, and you can still get food containers like this available. I think it's B&M's or Home Bargains, and they're not that expensive. And I just find it so much easier now putting this icing sugar in this tub rather than trying to tip it out of the bag. It's just great using the big spoon with it.
You mix the margarine and icing sugar 7 minutes no matter what cake size you are creating?
Yes. All I want to do is I'm just mixing. What I'm doing is it's not just it's waiting until it's by the eye as well. You can tell now that this margarine now is quite yellow. It's quite yellow. So I'm gonna do that. Add the icing sugar now, and I'm gonna beat that until it's as nice and pale as what you saw it before. So because I've mixed the margarine down into that, I'm just gonna chop my 400 grams of icing sugar into the margarine, just so that it just prevent that icing sugar cloud that you get over your kitchen. See, what I love about this Kenwood as well is you can start it off on a very, very slow speed. So it's because sometimes I think the Kenwood, the K mixes go off a bit quick for me, and that's when you get the icing sugar splurting round.
Behind you, the light gold one in the middle.
Yeah.
Is that 6 inch, and how many layers are there? 2 or 3?
That one.
Yeah.
That was done. That is actually a proper cake. That's dummy. And that's the cake that Rachel did on the live when she did it with the ganashing kit. So I think there's probably 4 layers of sponge in there. I think it's 2 cakes we've used, and there'll be 4 layers of sponge. So you get the 2 6-inch cakes. We've cut them in half, and then we've put them in and then buttercreamed it. Put one in, buttercreamed it. So I think that is 2 6-inch cakes there. So as you can see, I'm turning this up now, and I'm going to wait now for this to be nice, light and fluffy, as in the light colour you saw before. So it might take 7 minutes, it might take 6 minutes. You're doing it by eye. What you're wanting to do is make sure you've got a lovely, light, fluffy mixture. So I've got the eggs in there. I'm just going to weigh the flour out. 400 grams of flour. So I might even get another couple of those tubs if I can find them. Just a simple reason, I really do. I'd like to have my flour in it. It's finding room in this kitchen because the cupboards are so full everywhere. I'd like to have one for plain flour and one for self-raising flour, just so we can put the spoon in rather than trying to take them out of the bag all the time. So that's the 400 grams there. And while we're waiting for that, let's prepare our tin. So this isn't a loose bottom one. So I'm definitely making sure I'm getting the release of cake on this all the way round and on the bottom, and also making sure I do line it. So I'm going to make sure I get that all round the sides.
And what speed are you using at the mixer right now?
The mixture at the moment is on a number 5. It was on a 4.5, it's definitely on number 5 now.
That is already getting lighter.
Yeah. So there's our tin prepared.
And do you not sift your flour or icing sugar?
Icing sugar, being in that tub, has already been sieved because it was in the big 5 kilo bag, and I always sift it as I'm putting it into that tub. I don't sift my flour, no. But I have sifted the icing sugar, only because it's in the big 5 kilo bags. I don't usually sift it if it's in the 500 gram bags because it's so fine. But it depends how long the 5 kilo bags have been in the cupboard, or you know, like in the kitchen here. That's why I always make sure that I sift those now. Another thing, I spent ages cleaning this tin this morning. Don't put your stainless steel tins in the dishwasher. It sends them, it tarnishes them. So then I spent ages this morning with my scrubber, and I've managed to get all of it off now, so it's not tarnished. It's nice, pretty, nearly a shiny tin again now.
And can you use gluten-free flour?
Absolutely. As you see on when I do my free from lives, I'll use gluten-free flour. If I'm doing a vegan bake, I'll make it gluten-free as well by using the Stork Block margarine and the gluten-free flour. As you can see now, look how nice and light that's gone now. So we will just scrape the bowl down.
Are you using self-raising flour?
Yes, they always use, and I don't ever put any extra rising agent in, so I don't bother putting any baking powder in. I just use self-raising flour. But sometimes your cakes, you can find that they go a little bit crusty on top, or they sink in the middle a little bit. It's when you've used too much raising agent. So if you're using a self-raising flour, you don't really need to use a baking powder.
Also, Billy's asking, how are you after your recent COVID jab? You've been shivering and aching.
No, my arm's aching. I feel like someone's given me a dead arm, but that's it. I've had the headaches, but I took some tablets and I've been fine. I had a good sleep last night. I had a headache this morning. I just took a couple more paracetamol. I'm absolutely fine. This feels like a bit of a dead arm at the moment. Sounds like I had it done in my right arm, not my left.
Yeah, you need that one. Are the scales sold on our website?
No, they're not. There are Salter scale which you can get on Amazon. You can look for Salter on Amazon, and we sell that. Those are sold on Amazon, and they're not that expensive. You also can pick up the scales, so you can pick them up in your local supermarkets as well. I think I've seen Salter in your local supermarkets and at Argos and things like that, so you can find them everywhere. Just turn that up to number 6. Just give that a final good mix round. I've got it nice, light and fluffy now. So I'll turn that down to number 1, and I'm going to start adding my eggs. So again, I've put 2 eggs in, and I'll put a little bit of flour in, wait for it to mix round, and then give that a really good mix, those eggs. Here we go. Just put my last egg in. What I will do now is, I'm going to scrape the bowl down to make sure there's no egg around the sides and any loose flour that was there before. flour in before I put it back onto the mix again. Again, if you're only doing a small amount, I have found that you can just add the flour while it's mixing very slow. But when I'm doing big amounts, I do like to take it off and just fold this in, and then I'll give it a final mix when it's all folded in. Right, we'll give that a final beat on the mixer. There we go, 15. We'll take that out.
About the flour and adding the eggs to mix it to stop it curdling.
Yeah, you still get a tidgy bit there, but it's not going to spoil the taste of your cake. It's just, if you just put a little bit of flour in, it just takes away the majority of it looking like it's curdled. But please, it's even if you think it's curdled, when you start adding your flour later on, it doesn't matter, it will come back, and it comes back to a lovely, look at that, a lovely smooth batter. Get it on there. A lovely smooth batter, which we're going to tip into this tin now.
And yes, Jenny, it does smell lovely in the kitchen this morning. My mouth is absolutely watering. I'm ready to take one for the team at any point if it gets to that.
You're such a good egg, aren't you?
Oh, no.
So I've just scraped as much as I can out of there. And again, let's just so again, I've got 2 ovens in here, so this is going in the other oven now on 140, and again I will put this on for 50 minutes and check it at 50 minutes. But I won't open the oven fully, I'll just take a quick gander, and you can always tell looking at it if you think it's ready for testing. So again, just wipe round the tin and let's get this in the oven. Now I've got 39 minutes left.
Do you ever use baking belts, Karen?
No, it's something I have never used. I've never, I know some people swear by them, and if that's what you like using, then please, you carry on using them. It's something I have never used. I've never had to use it. I've never felt the need to use them.
What are they?
It's, you put a belt round the edge of the tin. It's supposed to help your cake be a level cake, and it's like an insulating belt that goes around the outside of the tin. It's just something I've never... happening here. That's what a baking belt is, Terry.
Oh.
And if you was using one of these, you just would fit it. You get 2 in it. You just fit it round your tin, and
It actually does look like a belt.
yeah, it is a belt. And you just you use it. You slip them in. So you put it around your tin and you slip it into the size of your tin. But it's just something I've never had to use. But it's just something I don't bother using. I know there's quite a few ladies on here that will use baking belts and love them, and you know what, if it works for you, absolutely. So we do sell baking belts, they're a Wilton product, so we do sell the baking belts.
Would you say it's better if you had like a silicone tin to have a belt to make it upright? Because I have a silicone tin to get the cake out easier.
Excuse me, I've gone dry. You've got a silicone cake tin. Just
get you sick.
It's all that talking.
I know.
Thanks, Michelle, for my cup. My brew is still nice and warm. I think Terry made this over an hour ago for me. So those 2 cakes are in the oven. So while those 2 cakes are in the oven, let's just go through the ingredients for both cakes again for anybody who might have been late in joining us, but I am going to make sure that they go on the website as well for you. It's going to be under Basic Victoria Sponge Cake, and then I will list all the sizes that I've done today. I will list all those on the website, on the recipe page, with the amounts of ingredients that you need per cake.
Do you know what make the oven is?
Hot point.
Hot point.
A hot point double oven. It's a, is it what they call, is it integrated? It's like either one that's in the furniture.
Yeah.
It's in the furniture. Right, so your 12-inch cake that I did, it was a square cake. Now remember, this is for the square cake, not the round cake. You will. I don't honestly know what the ingredients are for the round cake. So for the square cake, it was 600 grams of margarine and 600 grams of used velvet vanilla natural flavoured icing sugar, 12 eggs and 600 grams of self-raising flour. For the 10-inch round, it's 400 grams of margarine and 400 grams of natural flavoured icing sugar, 8 eggs and 400 grams of self-raising flour. And they're the two cakes we've done up to now, and they're the two cakes that are in the oven. This is one. This is a 6-inch one I made over the weekend. Oops.
Hello.
Hello. Where did you go to? Just want to show them the depth of that, if they could see that on the front. So that's, can you pass me your tape measure, please? Thank you. So that's 5 centimetres high. I cut a tidgy bit off the top before, only because I was putting it flat down. I like to, when I put the cake on, I usually like to use the bottom of the cake as the top of mine. And so I just cut a tidgy bit. It was, I mean, it was a slither I cut off. And as I cut this in half, and we're going to do some gorgeous natural flavoured icing sugar with the double cream to make in the end it turns out it's like a chantilly cream really, because you put in the icing sugar in there, because the chantilly cream is when you put some sugar and vanilla essence in there. Well, I'm using velvet vanilla icing sugar, best of both worlds, so you're making like a chantilly cream and it tastes beautiful. And once you've tasted the flavoured icing sugar in a cream, you don't go back to boring old just plain cream anymore. Do you, Terry?
No.
Terry didn't believe.
Verify.
Yeah, Terry didn't believe us until we sent her home with some cake with flavoured cream in it, and now she says that's it now. Her partner will not eat, will he? No. Michael will not eat anything unless it's got the flavoured cream in it.
Exactly.
I'll do that in a moment. I've just got this to show you here. I see a lot of you asking on the website, on the community page, about where to get cake toppers from. Now, depending on what you want with cake toppers, Sugar and Crumbs do a massive amount. We do a great variety of icing cake toppers. I've just got a couple here to show you. Get these out.
Aww.
So this one, this is just, I mean, you can have this as a rectangle if you're doing it, or you could actually put it into a circle. So it gives you the choice of having rectangle or circle. So look at this, you could have this printed out. I think they only work, I think they're $4.99. I haven't got my price list with me, but they're not dear, but we do such a lot of different designs. They're all in there. If you look under the shop and then go to edible, it says, I think it's photo icing sheets. Is it called photo icing? Do you know?
I will have a look.
Have a look. I can't think what it's on the menu coming down, and it gives you what you want, and you can look for. You could put Easter in or put Christmas in, and put different things in. And we've got such a lot because we've got these Happy Easter ones, and we do lovely things like the leopard print and cheetah print and or jaguar, whatever that one is there. Any idea, Terry? Are we looking at a jaguar there? Or are we looking at a leopard? Cheetah? Yep. It could be. So we do absolutely loads, and we do like there's like probably like grassy themes ones, and there's loads of different ones that you can look at on the website. They're absolutely superb, and they're not dear. And then you can get these, and they come in a little plastic wallet for you, so they're all secure, and that's how you'd keep them.
Oh, photo cake, edible printing.
Photo cake, edible printing. That's what you look for, and we have got it's got to be over, I think it's over 1,000 images on there, well over 1,000 images of different ones we have on there. And you can get them, I say, as rounds, you can get them as rectangles, you can even get them as photo strips. So if you wanted to, if you was wanting something like this to go as round a cake, and you wanted it on the square size, or you was doing stripes, you would do photo strips, and it comes in as 3 strips. 3 equal strips for you that you just peel off yourself, because it's actually separated. You don't have to cut them, they're actually cut for you. So then you've got your 3 photo strips. So you can have photo strips, round cakes, you can even get them as cake toppers. We even do them as a 2-inch cake topper, so you get 12 on a sheet, and you get 12, and maybe 12, you get 12 Happy Easters on a sheet.
Do you reckon we'd ever do customisable ones?
We can do customisable ones, so long as it's, you're adhering to photo right. You know, is it copyright? We can't do football clubs. We can't do any branding that's got a photo that's got a copyright on it. We can't do pop stars because they're copyrighted. But if you wanted something, if it was your own company, or you had, it was a picture of, I don't know, of you that you wanted, then if you send that in, I'm sure, and you can talk to the ladies, they can do that for you, and they can get that on to the cake for you. But as I said, we cannot do anything that's copyrighted. We can't do it. So we couldn't copy your picture that a photographer had taken. It's got to be something that someone's taken of you, but not a professional photographer, because he's copyrighted your picture. So you've got to be really careful of that. We're not allowed to do anything that's got a copyright on it. Right. Have I got anything else to show you? Carol's going to be doing a cake in the week using these, using the unicorn. So Carol's got to be doing a cake in the week using this gorgeous unicorn sugar art. So she's going to be showing you how to do that, because we've also got exciting news. Kim Firth's in the kitchen. I'm trying to fall off over my little slip mat now. Kim Firth's in the kitchen tonight for you. But guess what? Kim's in the kitchen all week. We've snaffled her for a week. So she's going to be in the kitchen tonight. She's going to think she's making her her sugar shoe tonight, the shoe out of the icing sugar. So she's going to be showing you how to do the shoe kit. That's going to be exciting tonight. But she's also going to do a little live tomorrow afternoon. I think she's doing one on Thursday afternoon and one Thursday night. But Carol's going to be with her as well, obviously, and I'll be in the kitchen doing comments and that. So we've actually snaffled her for a full week, because Wednesday we've got the gorgeous Claire Corbett in here doing her couture cupcakes, which can't wait for those. So you've still got time to get onto that class if you want to do the couture cupcakes. So just show you, I mean, you've all seen them, but I'll just show you a couple here. I'm just wasting a bit of time till I know my oven's ready, because I can start the other cake then and get it in the oven. So there we go, we've got your couture cupcakes. I'll just show you that. She's going to be showing you how to do a variety of these. You won't just be doing 5 or the 6th one. We've lost 2 petals. You know what we're like in here. We're putting them down. So that would be a full. But she's going to show you how to do the filigree, and she's going to show you how to do all the painting and this gorgeous like big rose here, like an Austin rose, and showing you how to do everything like that. So that's still got plenty of time to get on that. And these would be great now. Wedding season and party season seems to be starting again. This is going to be absolutely great. And then don't forget, we have the gorgeous Dough Griffin in on Friday. It's our Easter cupcake toppers. Now a lot of you have signed on for that already, because I've seen the classes getting really full, but look at these. Just look at them. Oops, let's come that way. I'm just looking where Terry got the camera then. But I mean, look. Absolutely beautiful. So this is a £20 class on Friday, and this is with Dough, and I'm going to be showing you a variety of these. I mean, I love this one. I mean, look at him. Dough's adapted his carrot to be a racing car. Look at that, it's got little wheels on, which is just out of the button mould and that. So she's going to be showing you how to do all these on Friday, even to these little crazy eggs. How cute are these? That one, just peeping at being unwrapped. Just one eye peeping out. You can tell it's just one eye, because she's got the eyebrow there down. She's got the eyebrow down there on the other one. So this is the £20 class that you've still got time to get on for Friday. Monday, week today, we've got Jerry Chewin doing limbs and bodies. She is going to be showing you how to make a head, but not go in depth as she did with the facial expression class. But she will be showing, for the people who haven't done the facial expression class, how to do a head so that you actually have got a body with a head on it. But so that's going to be a great class next Monday. That's the body and limbs class, and it goes hand in hand with the facial expressions class. If for those ladies who've bought that one, you're now going to have a body to put your face on. So that's a good class. And then then on that Tuesday, so you've got Jerry in on the Monday, on the Tuesday is Carol's Buttercream Flowers class, and then on the Thursday is Carol's Cupcake Bouquet class, doing an Easter bouquet. So, and then we break up for Easter. Can you believe it? Easter's here already, wow. Then we break up on the Thursday night for Easter, because it's Good Friday. So we've got a nice busy 2 weeks, and I hope you ladies can join us and gentlemen, and spend plenty of time with us, because we're going to have a load of fun, a load of laughs, as we always do. Right, let's get the other mix. I'm just going to check my big cake. Oh, get in there.
Are the animals going to be a class?
Which are the animals? I am not too sure, because these were something that she was just doing. She did these on a live. She's done some of these animals showing you on a live, but it's the body and limbs class she's doing at the moment. So I don't know what the class will be after that. They're still talking about it.
If you look back onto Jerry Chew's
Monday Night Lives, wasn't it?
Monday Night Live, she does the animals there.
Yeah. She even did she doing like a Peppa Pig.
Yeah,
she did like a Peppa Pig one. So if you can look back on the Monday Night Live, you can go into YouTube or into Facebook and put Sugar and Crumbs Jerry Chew, and it'll bring up all Jerry's Facebook Lives that she's done for us. And then we've just got the new fun fonts from PME. With a happy birthday fun font. So these are the new fun fonts from PME. This is collection 2. So there we go, we've got those ones out as well. So I think Carol will be showing you these as well again tonight, because I don't know if I don't know if Kim will be using them. So there we go, we've got those as well. Got the new drips in, which, as Carol said, she's really sorry on the last live when we're supposed to be doing the drips, weren't we? And Carol was decorating those when we did the cakes on the ganashing kit, and she was going to use the cake, she was going to use the drips, wasn't she, from Roxy and Rich, and completely forgot, and we covered them in nice buttercream swirls and hundreds and thousands in them, you know, with all the sugar strands in. So she's going to actually be doing these for you as well, these Roxy and Rich lovely new chocolate drips. Got pastel pink, pastel green, pastel yellow. We've got pastel peach, pastel blue, pastel purple, and these are from Roxy and Rich, and they're on the website already, but Carol is going to be demonstrating those for you. I'm just going to put this mixer to the back and get my other mixer in so I can mix my cream for you. Go.
That's a nice colour.
It's a nice colour, this one, isn't it? It's like is it what you call a copper one or a bronze?
Yeah, copper.
Copper one, that wasn't it? It's gorgeous. Get the cream out of the fridge. So I've got a 300ml tub of double cream. I'm using the whisk attachment. Just start that off now. And I'm going to give it a good spoonful a good spoonful of our gorgeous velvet vanilla icing sugar. Turn that down into there, and then I'm going to mix that up now. In fact, you know what? Let's have 2. Again, whisk this up, be careful, always keep your eye on your cream. If you whisk it too much and it starts to separate and you'll end up having butter. You don't want it to separate. If you do separate it and you've got some extra cream in the fridge, then by all means, you pour that extra cream and it brings it back again. But I want this sturdy enough to be able to pipe into the Victoria sandwich. I think this is afternoons is for when Kim arrives later. So that's getting thicker now. I don't know if you can see inside the bowl there. Is it? Oh right, it's okay then. I'll bring it up and show. That's done nicely now, as it's solid on the whisk, and it's not separated, and it's a nice pipeable consistency. That.
The cake with the third one down, is that Gold Sparkle?
That's the Gold Sparkle, the new Gold Sparkle, yes. That's the new Copper.
Yeah.
Then that's the Ruby Rose. That's the Gold Sparkle. That's the new Pearl Sparkle, I think it's called Pearl Sparkle. And then that one is the glowing bronze. Oh,
oh, sorry.
What do you think?
I was looking at it.
So let's start again.
Let's try that one again.
So that one is the new Copper one. Tell you what, so you can see them.
Get your guns out. Yeah, there we go.
So you can see them. That is the nice Copper one. Ruby Rose. Sparkle Gold. Pearl Sparkle. And Glowing Bronze. So how good do they look? Aren't they shiny? So Carol just used them with Rejuvenated Spirit, painted it on, and then when it was dry, she got the a dusting brush and you fluff it up. You just go over it and you luster out. Don't luster with any dust over it. You buff. That's the word I'm looking for. You buff it. So she buffs it. So there is going to be plenty new videos coming along with our new Wonder Dust, isn't there, Terry?
Yes. They're in the making.
They're in the making. So we've got that, and also Carol will be demonstrating a lot of the Wonder Dust for you as well. They're superb, aren't they? Be careful with that. I have to remember there's only one solid cake on there, the rest are all the cake dummies. So I've got my cake here. I'm just going to cut this in half. As it's for afternoon tea, I don't need to glue it to the board or anything. Just get a few of those off there. There we go. Then we've got my piping bag. Here it is. These, we have to test things before we buy them. And Carol just says, are you using piping bags? I said, yes, but you test a new one. We've not bought these yet. These are just in the testing stage. These nice blue ones. So I'm just going to test. Feels nice. It feels nice and thick. I'm going to use one of these nice big nozzles out of the Savoy set. We'll use that one. I'm using the 2J.
Rita asks, how many Wonder Dusts have been used for one cake? It's less than one.
Less than one tub. Especially on the especially on this big one here. This was less than 1 tub because once it had dried, I've scraped it all. Once it's dried, I've got it all together with a paintbrush again, a nice dry paintbrush. Pour it all back into powder and it's gone back in the tub again. So I know it's been less than 1 tub that has actually gone on this one here. So as they're going smaller, you know you're going to get a few coatings out of it.
Oh, Debbie's just messaged me a poem about wonder dust. I have to go look at that one sec.
So I'm just going to give this. I've just decided because it's going to be on show. I just want to have a nice pipe on it.
That's cute.
And we do want a nice cream filling, don't we? And then we've got these back in stock again now, which are our lovely PME shakers that we get with the icing sugar. So we've got these over. I've not had one in the kitchen before because we're always selling out. Well, Carol brought one to me, and they get a lovely plastic tub, so when you put it in the cupboard, it doesn't fall out. But look at this now. My sugar shaker's back.
Woo!
And that is a traditional classic Victoria sponge, and I didn't put the jam in it because it's if they're doing another layer I'd have put a layer of jam in as well, but that is a classic Victoria sponge. So look at that.
That looks amazing.
So I'm going to put this in the fridge now, and then let's make an 8-inch cake. That's going in the fridge, ready for afternoonsies.
Anne said she's going to shove your face in that.
There's nothing. I mean, do you all flavour your cream now, or is there some that still have never flavoured the cream? Tell the ladies who do, just tell how nice is it when you flavour your cream.
Which was on this camera. I should get my Facebook password from.
I mean, I did it. I flavoured the cream when I did those the donut, not the donuts, the chocolate eclairs and the elephant's feet. I flavoured some of that with the salted caramel because then I put a caramel sauce across them as well. Absolutely beautiful when you flavour your cream. So put that one out of the way because that was the one with the cream in it. So let's do the 8-inch.
If you touch it.
Yes. Yes, it does. I don't know why.
When it's done like that. If you touch it.
I'm just making sure my hands aren't wet.
Yeah, don't rip it off.
A tidgy bit. I mean, my hands are very warm.
Because the buffing actually.
The buffing helps it. I've got very minimal on my fingers there. Can you see that, Terry? Minimal. I've stroked it up and down there, and there's very, very, very less there. So yeah, just if you buff it, the buffing really does help to. What are you laughing at now?
That's what you said.
Right. So I'm going to do 375 grams because I always do 3 layers for Carol in the 8-inch sandwich tins. I'm looking at that thinking that will be round about the same. So I'm going to try this as 375 grams of margarine and 375 grams of icing sugar, 375 grams of flour, and it will be 7 eggs. Let's get another butter out of the fridge. So when these cakes are out of the oven completely and they've cooled down, we'll get Terry or Simon to take photographs of them, and they'll be put onto the community page there. There's that one. There it is. What? So
I've just read the poem for one of us.
Yeah.
Should we read it out?
Let's read it out, yeah.
Okay, so this is a poem written from Debbie Hargreaves, so thanks for sending it in. I'm going to read it to you now. I hope I read it right for you. Sugar and crumbs, new wonder dust, takes your goodies to a brand new high, sparkling and glittering, brighter than the stars in the sky. Brush it dry on chocolate for a gleam you've never seen before. Paint it on or sprinkle it, soon you'll be coming back for more. These little pots of luster are so versatile, you'll wonder how you've done it with gold, bronze, pearl and ruby, and more to come, the best one yet without a doubt. Aww,
well done.
Debbie.
That's really good. Love it, absolutely love it. Carol will love that as well, really good. So we've got the margarine's going into there, so I'm just going to weigh out the icing sugar now. I want my 7 eggs. The icing sugar in there now. It's getting warmer in this kitchen because there's now 2 ovens on.
That's fine by me.
So I'm just chopping this in, making sure it was scraped off the sides. So don't forget to join us in the kitchen tonight. Kim Firth and Carol's here, so Kim Firth's going to be doing a sugar paste shoe for you with a gorgeous high-heeled shoe, and Carol will be in here doing the comments and obviously chatting to you. So that to go nice, light and fluffy. I'll just weigh the flour out and then I'll prepare the tin.
Margaret says, you're making me dizzy, you're so speedy. I'll probably still be on the first cake.
So So 370, oops, I've done a bit over there.
Emily says, I beat my eggs before putting in the butter. Is it needed or am I wasting my time?
Wasting your time, it's up to, but again, it's completely up to you how you want to do it. I don't beat the eggs, I just put them in. And then I turn the mix up as you saw, but if you wanted to beat your eggs and you find it works, then you beat your eggs. Right, prepare this tin now. So again, this isn't a loose bottom one, this is a sealed tin. So let's just, and this is the 8" by 3" high. Bit of cake release in there. I've got my cloth. I want to make sure I coat the sides because I want that cake to slip out nice and easy. I've got my 8" liner. So that's gone in there fine, so the cake tin's now done. Just turn the mixture up now just so that it's going nice, light and fluffy. You can see that the margarine's changing colour with the icing sugar and it's going nice and light. So remember, this is a 375 mix that I've used to go in this 8" tin. I had something else to show you, I'm trying to remember what it was.
What brand are your tins?
PME. These are the PME tins and they're all on our website if you want to take a look. We do loose bottom tins and we also do loose bottom tins and we do what they call the sealed tins as well. But the PME, I personally do prefer the loose bottom tin. They're what the tins I have at home are all loose bottom. I prefer those, but I can work with the sealed tins as well.
Do you use your ingredients cold from the fridge?
The margarine, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Eggs aren't in the fridge, generally eggs are stored in the cupboard, but the margarine, because it's a margarine and I give it a quick whip like that, it doesn't really matter if I've used it cold from the fridge or if it's been at room temperature. I just usually get it out of the fridge as I need it. I will talk to you in a moment about what we do when the cakes come out of the oven. That's getting nice, light and fluffy. I'm just going to go and check the oven a moment. Yeah, that's showing still there's 4 minutes to go, but I'm just going to leave it till it beats and then I will look at testing it. It looks like it's rose beautifully and it looks like it's coming up the sides a little bit, but I'm not too sure about the middle. The middle still seems a little bit soft. It is trial and error on the times that you cook your cakes for, due to the make of your oven or how old your oven is, how new your oven is. You all know what your oven does. I mean, sometimes you check your ovens and you can find that they're not quite running at the 140 degrees, they're actually running a little bit cooler. So you do get to know your own oven and you get to know how long to put things in for. That's nice, light and fluffy. I'm just leaving that another couple of minutes. As you know, we've got the grey boards in stock. Just turn that down just a little bit there, we mix that up. We've got the grey boards in stock, and we've also got the extra large one, as you know, like this pink one. We've also got the large one in now. We've got the large one in, so that's going to, when we set our station up, we're going to have the big grey one and the large one there. We've also got the medium sized one in, comes with its own little piece of grippers. We've got that medium sized one, and we've also got this new one now that we're doing these in pink as well, and it's the double board. We used to sell this one, but this is going to be discontinued, this small one. We're discontinuing this one because we're having this one made in pink as well, and it's a double-sided board. You've got your veining side for doing your wires into your flowers on one side and your Mexican hats, and you've got your little rolling outside on the other. So these are going to be coming as pink ones as well.
Do you always make your Victoria's sandwich cakes in one tin?
Excuse me, no, I have a... I do. if they're for a cake that needs to be carved, or if you're doing a structure cake or something like that, I've done them in one tin. But if I was making a Victoria sponge sandwich, I sometimes do for Carol, to save having to cut it, I do it in the three 8-inch tins. But there's no harm in doing it in a big tin and just cutting it. If you can, like, if you cut straight and you can get your level, you get your cakes level, you could cut it, no problem.
Get your tape measure out. What's the size of the new grey Vena board?
I had a tape measure, didn't I? Here it is. So the new grey Vena board, which is going to be done in pink as well, is 9.5 inches long by 6.5 inches wide. So in centimetres, it's 25 long and 16 wide. And it's great. It's just that it's just a nicer size than that little one there. You'll be able to get more on that, especially if you're doing your flowers and you want to roll in your petals out. It's just that little bit bigger to work with. So we've got the grey ones, and it comes with a slip mat as well. So you get a slip mat with it. So they're going to be done in pink, but we have them in grey at the moment. But when Kim does her lessons tonight, does the class tonight, I'll have all the grey. I'm going to have all the grey boards set out. So I'm going to add the eggs now. I was going to add the eggs. Just bear with me a second.
Is it ready?
Nope. No. So I'm going to turn that I'm going to do that another 10 minutes, only because I could tell by touching it needs at least another 10 minutes on that. So let's turn that up. I'll put 2 eggs in there. A little bit of flour. So that's 7 eggs gone into there now. And we'll give it a scrape down, and then I'll start to add the flour bit by bit while it's on a low speed, just folding it in. So that's all scraped from the bottom, everything from the sides.
Get it mixed in.
So I've got that on number 1 at the moment. I'm just putting it all in on number 1, just so it's all incorporated. As I said, because I've got a little amount in the bowl now, I've got the 375, I can do this rather than folding. Now if you still prefer to fold in, you still fold in. Do it exactly how you like to do it. So wait till each one's mixed in, then just add some more. Do it on a slow speed, it's just like folding it in.
It's very therapeutic.
Sorry?
Such a cake.
So that's all folded in. So I'm just going to turn this again up the usual 15 seconds. There we go. Just enough time to clean the board, 15 seconds. Give it a good white round.
Super speed.
And just make sure it's all gone down the sides. I've got no stray flour hanging around there. So I'll tip this in. Now I'm looking at that. And do you know what? I would cut, I'm not going to put any more in there now because that's 3/4 full. So I know that when I put the recipe on the website now, I'm going to suggest a 350 gram mix. So 350 gram of flour, 350 gram of natural flavoured icing sugar, 350 gram of margarine and 6 eggs. And I would recommend that for this tin, for this one here, because I've got that left there and I don't want to put that in because it will make it too, if you fill it too much, it will come over and it just will not look a nice cake. Remember, you want a nice flat cake when it comes out. So 3/4 full is more than enough. Leave that to the side. That other one should be due to come out any moment.
You can put it on my side.
That will actually make, rather than waste it, we'll probably make a nice 6" by 2" filler. So we've got a nice 6x2, so it'll go. It can put that as another layer on a cake.
Just put my name on it, Karen.
Do you know when
Got
you
any of that cream left?
looking for this?
And that's the PME.
This is the PME 6" by 2". So we're just going to get a nice little liner to go in that. So don't ever worry if you think you've done too much mixture with something. You think, oh no, I've miscalculated. Just get your other cake tins out and make another cake. And even if you made some cupcakes, you've got spares there all the time.
How many eggs for the 8" cake?
For the 8" cake, I would now say 6 eggs because I would do 350 grams each of flour, sugar and margarine and 6 eggs.
Sweet.
No, I did 350. It's 6. Hang on, brain repeat. 300 grams. 300 grams of flour, 300 grams of margarine, 300 grams of icing sugar, 6 eggs.
6 eggs.
Yeah, definitely 300 grams because I've got enough here to make this 2" cake here. And this was 375, so it just was that little bit too much. And that's just come just over halfway again, so that is absolutely perfect filling that. And that was out of, so those 2 cakes here were out of the 375 grams, so definitely for an 8" cake now, I would say 300 grams. And as I said, I'll get all this on the website for you under basic Victoria sponge cake recipes, so you can keep going back and referring back to it.
Very true, Michelle. Karen, you're not leaving enough in the bowl to lick.
Have a look at this. Oh, very nearly. I'm just turning the one up for the the 10-inch. I've just turned that up on the 10-inch because the 10-inch wouldn't be done in 3 minutes, but the other one is going to be coming out in about 3 minutes, and it's looking absolutely great. So I will get the wire tray on here, ready to put it on here, and then I can get these other 2 cakes into the oven at the same time. Another thing I like to say is, if you bake a cake, it's like I've got that resting there now. So once you've put it in your baking tin, get it in your oven. I just don't like leaving the sponges on the side waiting to bake. As soon as I've put them in the tin, I do like to get them straight into the oven. But as I'm doing a demo today, I've run out of ovens. So as soon as this one comes out in 3 minutes, I'll be whipping that cake straight into there. Put that there. So the 6-inch cake, I don't know if it's worth making one again, or I just need to show you this one. Could you just get me a cake stand, please?
Yes.
So this is the 6-inch cake, so I just wanted to show you this. And it'll do, that pink one will do. Thank you. And that recipe for that one, it's one I've always used when doing Carol's cakes for doing the ganaching kits, when she's been doing the buttercream flowers, buttercream. It's 150 grams of margarine, 150 grams of self-raising flour, 150 grams of natural flavoured icing sugar, and 3 eggs. And that makes that size cake. I mean, that is a decent size cake. Now I've done a nice filling with it. So if you think that's got a nice cream filling, which a Victoria sponge should have a really good filling, traditional, I mean, a lot of people make Victoria sponges, I do at home, and I just put buttercream on them. Absolutely no problem. But a traditional one does have a cream in it. And that now is 3.5 inches high with having that cream in it like that. I'm just looking at this cake again now. The 2 in.
And how long for the 6-inch one to bake?
The 6-inch one takes around 45 to 50 minutes. But again, on your oven, check it from say 40 minutes, but you don't have to open your oven fully. You just have a peek in. You can tell if you think the top's baked or not. Like I peeked in at this one and I just managed to get a finger in, and I could tell at 50 minutes it wasn't done, because I had to just touch it like that and it wobbled a bit. So I did this for another 10 minutes, and as you can see around the sides here, I don't know if Terry can get in, oops, around it started to come away. It shrinks for around the sides, and that's when you know. Move that out of the way again. I don't want that near the cream. I'm going to put it back in the fridge in a minute. It'll keep going the tin near the cream. So that's when you know. You can see my cake tester is going round the edge there, and the cake has all come away from the edge. So I know that's baked. I've done the cake tester into the centre. It comes out completely clear. So I know that is baked all the way through. Now I will leave this, let's get my chair now, because that's the end of the baking. So could we go to the front again, please? So I sat down, my back on my arm. I need sympathy, Terry. Am I getting sympathy? No, she's not giving me no sympathy. Right, so that now, I'm going to leave that in the tin to cool. Now that will be in the tin for a good half an hour. And once it's cooled for enough for me to handle it, a good half an hour, I'll then decant it from this tin onto the wire cooling tray to cool completely. And once it's cooled completely and it's absolutely stone cold, and then, because I'm going to freeze these ones, these aren't being used, so if you wanted to bake this one in this size, you could actually quarter it and you're going to get a 3-inch square cake. Now look, once these ganaching sets comes out, for the square cakes, you could make a cake this size and you could quarter it and you could be putting your layers in your ganaching sets. This would even cut in half this cake so that you could, if you wanted to fill it, you're going to get a good sized cake if you want to fill it. Once they're gone cold, put it onto a piece of cling film and then fold the cling film over and cover it I wrap about six times around, definitely five times around the cake, because cling film breathes, but I don't want it to breathe that much where it'll get frostbite in the freezer. So I give it a really good covering about 6 times, and then I put it flat into the freezer. I don't make sure nothing else goes on top of it. I actually put that flat on its own shelf until it's frozen. Once it's frozen solid, I then can put the other frozen cakes on top. But if you try and put anything on a fresh cake, or even put your fresh cake on a frozen cake, it will probably go, if your frozen cakes were dipping a little bit, your cake will dip. So you need to freeze this completely flat. Same as the round ones, as soon as they come out, I always leave them in the tins until they've gone quite cool, and then I will tip them out. Once I can handle the tin and know that they're cool, I'll then tip them out to cool completely on the wire racks. Again, 5 times layer in cling film into the freezer and they'll be absolutely fine. There's nothing better than a cake that's been frozen. You defrost it and use it. It tastes so nice. It's as fresh, if not sometimes, I honestly think sometimes fresher than when you put it in the freezer. I know it sounds daft, but I've done it where I've had to make a cake in advance, like for my daughter's birthday, and I've brought it out. When we've cut into it, I thought, oh my, it's probably fresher than when I put it in. And I've heard a couple of other people say that. So it's just, be careful, make sure you thoroughly wrap it all, make sure there's no spare cake peeping out. You've got to make sure you wrap every bit, otherwise you will get freezer burn on your cakes.
I've got a question from Rose. She asks, hi Karen, do you ever use a foil time for baking?
A foil tin? It'll be I bet it's a, you mean like the throwaway, like the tray bake tins? I have done. I have used it. Again, I cook it in exactly the same way. If I've done a tray bake and it's a foil one, I've also make sure I've also greased it. Even though it's a foil tin, I've given that a grease as well with a bit of cake release, and I've baked it in the same way. I leave it in the oven. I mean, you don't have to tip it out of a foil tin because you're going to serve it as tray bake from that. But again, I always test with a cake tester to make sure the centre comes out. As long as no batter is on that cake tester, you know your cake is nice and done. And as you can see from that, we have got a really nice flat surface on there. And then when I turn this out, I actually turn the cake upside down, so it will rest on this bit, because then we've got the nice side underneath, which is what you would decorate if you was putting onto a cake. Any other questions?
Let's have a look. How long do you defrost the cake before starting to work on it?
Depends if you need it to defrost enough if you're going to cut it. You need to have it defrosted enough if you was going to cut it. If you want to cool it completely and slice it before you freeze it, then you can do that and freeze it in 2 separate bits. You could decorate it straight away. I've seen Carol decorate. She decorates frozen 6-inch cakes. If we're doing like a class, and she's put a couple together, they're decorated frozen, and then they just go in the fridge after that. You don't have to wait for it to defrost fully. I have to if I was cutting it, or if I wanted to cut it to fill it, because I freeze my cakes as a full cake. So I will wait for that to defrost, even like 3/4 defrost, because you can still get your knife through it, and it's still good to work on.
Great live, full of useful tips, thank you.
Well, I'm not going to make the 6-inch one because I've got the 6-inch one here and I actually have no oven space at all. But you've got the 6-inch one here, and it's the one you always see us make. We always make it the 6-inch cake on the lives. And so these recipes will go straight on. As soon as I've tidied the kitchen in a minute, I'm going to go and put them on. So you'll find them under basic sponge recipes. It'll be basic Victoria sponge cake recipe. And that's how you'll find, and I'll put the 6-inch, the 8-inch, the 10-inch and the 12-inch square, and I'll put all those down there. And as I say, if you've got any other ones that you want to look at, then look at cake conversions on the website, and you have to print yourself off a little table. There's quite a few companies do them, and print yourself off a little table, and that will tell you then the conversion between a round tin and a square tin.
And Heather says the cakes that she's made this weekend have all pulled away from the tin, but not in a good way. Any idea why? What's the stuff that you use for it not to stick?
This is brilliant. This is the PME releaser cake. It's absolutely brilliant. And also we do a Cake Star cake release. They're both as good. I like this one because I'm in the kitchen and I just do it with the piece of tissue. But as you can see from there, my cakes aren't stuck on the side there. They're absolutely great. So I can't tip it out yet because it is still absolutely red hot, and I don't want to ruin this cake because it's like a 12 egg cake. But I use this releaser cake and I swear by it, and also swear by the cake release by Cake Star. It's a game changer, it really is. But also make sure you do line the bottom of your tin as well, and make sure you've got the cake release or the Cake Star, the releaser cake, the PME, or the Cake Star release cake around the sides. You must make sure you've coated the sides. Anything else? So I do hope you've enjoyed this live, and I do hope it's helped you a little bit with your Victoria sponges.
Do you have any idea how many pieces you can get from a square cake, for example, for a wedding?
No, because the ladies who are watching now who probably do wedding cakes will be able to tell you better. And no, they're supposed to be 1 inch square pieces. So if they were 1 inch square pieces, this would probably 12 by 12. It'd be like 144, wouldn't it? Depends how big your pieces are. I know when you have a traditional wedding cake, it's supposed to be like a 1 inch finger, but it depends on how many guests you've got, whether you want to go bigger or smaller. As I said, I don't bake professionally. I don't make wedding cakes, except I've got to make one this year for my friend. Oh no.
Wrong reaction,
Yay! Yay! I just don't make them, but I am said she's a friend, so I'm going to make hers for her this year. But other than that, the ladies on the community page will always help you. Any questions and ask, because there's a lot of professional bakers on our community page who will advise you on how many pieces a cake will get. I don't want to guess for you because I don't know how big the caterers cut it, but I do remember hearing Carol say that most cakes are usually a 1 inch piece that you get off the caterer when they've sliced it. So tonight is Kim Firth in the kitchen making her sugar choux, and then tomorrow we have got Kim in the kitchen. Tomorrow. Yes, at 2 o'clock. And then we've got Wednesday, we've got Claire Corbett in the kitchen doing her couture cupcakes, which are absolutely gorgeous. Thursday, we've got hijacked Kim again. Kim and Carol will be in the kitchen on Thursday day and Thursday evening. And then Friday, it's the gorgeous Doe Gruffin doing her Easter cupcake toppers. So we have a full week ahead, and then don't forget next week's only a 4-day week because we're running into Easter weekend, and we've got Jerry Chew on the Monday with the Bodies and Limbs class. Tuesday we've got Carol's Buttercream Flowers. Wednesday I've got a free day, yay, to do plenty of jobs in the kitchen. And then Thursday we've got the cupcake bouquet class for Carol, and she's doing the Easter cupcake bouquet class. So if you haven't joined that class, you've got plenty of time to join all these classes. And don't forget, if you join the cupcake bouquet class, you get access to all of last year's cupcake bouquets as well. So you're going to get, in the end, you're going to get about 14, because I think we've done about 14 bouquets. So you're going to get access to all those bouquets and all the ones that are due to come as well. Because Carol's going to try and do them like once a month, but we've snuck an extra one in. Well, it's the 1st of April, isn't it, on Thursday? We've got like the one for April. It's going to be an Easter one, and then Carol will come back in May and do another one. So you've got, and that's £60. You've got plenty. We'll just go and check on my cake. I'll be able to show you another one. No, the round 10-inch is taking a bit longer, so that's going to be another good 10 minutes yet. But I will get, when they're all out of the oven, I will get some photographs taken of them when they're on the baking tray, on the wire trays, and we'll get those onto the community page to show you how the live turned out. In fact, Carol might even be able to show you tonight, because they're not going to be cool enough to go into the freezer until later on tonight. So Carol might show you them tonight on the live. So all I can say is thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And thanks, Terry, for your wonderful camera skills, as usual.
Thank you,
that is still too warm to take out yet. So thanks ever so much for joining me, and I will see you on many classes. I know a lot of you are on a lot of classes, so I'll see you through the week on the classes and on the lives, and I'll be commenting for Kim anyway, so I will see you on Kim's lives as well. So thanks everybody.